here's Charlamagne, Charlamagne the God. If you guys don't know, he does a show, and he went on Fox News. Oddly, on Lara Trump's show, and he had this to say about what's going on with this Republican Party and the fallout over the Epstein cover-up.
I think that traditional conservatives are going to take the Republican Party back. I think there's a political coup going on right now in the Republican Party that people aren't paying attention to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that this Epstein thing is going to be a way for traditional conservatives to take their party back. I really do. I think that they know this is the issue that has gotten the base riled up. The MAGA base isn't letting this issue go, and for the first time, they know they can, probably take their party back and not piss off the MAGA base.
I can completely disagree with what Charlamagne is saying there. I don't think there's a traditional Republican base that's ready to take this party back, especially since the way that we got here was that traditional Republican base believed in all the things that they're implementing. They just never had enough of an idea to say, let's just completely violate the Constitution to do it. They were trying to convince enough people that all the bad things they were doing were done by the other party. And then after that case, maybe they'll vote enough of us in to then dismantle the entire country. And they couldn't really fool enough people. I mean, they did in iterations, but every time they would destroy more of the country, then it would revert back. These fascists are finding ways to try and make sure that never happens. And he was talking to Lara Trump, as I pointed out. So, of course, Donald Trump was watching, making sure that his person that he placed, his family member, that nepotism thing, the way that happens in fascist regimes, placed in Fox News, which is the propaganda arm, one of the propaganda arms of this administration. It's like, how could she let this guy on her show to then talk about the disastrous nature of my cover-up of the Epstein situation? So this is what he said in response. The very wonderful and talented Lara Trump. I told you he's worried that it's her and it's her show because his loyalists are watching it. Anyways, the very wonderful and talented Lara Trump, whose show is a big rating success, put racist sleazebag Charlamagne the God. Why is he allowed to use the word God when describing himself? Can anyone imagine the uproar there'd be if I used that nickname? Motherfucker, you do. You call yourself Jesus and that God saved you and you're supposed to be the next Messiah. So stop. Continuing. He's a low IQ individual, has no idea what words are coming out of his mouth, and knows nothing about me or what I've done. Just like ending 5 wars, including a 31-year bloodbath between the Republic of Congo and Rwanda, where 7 million people have died, and there was no end in sight. He didn't know that, or India and Pakistan are wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities, or closing the horrendous open border, or creating the greatest economy. Lies upon lies upon lies. Where prices and inflation have come way down, another lie. And where stupid and corrupt Joe Biden set the record for doing the worst job as president ever. But this dope Charlamagne would vote for Sleepy Joe or Kamala. Remember, 1 year ago, our country was dead. And now it's the hottest, in quotations for some reason, country anywhere in the world, MAGA. He types in MAGA rally speech and just stacks lie after lie after lie. And for some reason, Charlamagne's the racist. Okay, so this guy sees black and brown people, and as soon as he sees them say anything, he calls them a racist. I'm sorry, if he sees them say anything that's against his lies, suddenly they're racist. That's how he thinks. But I thought racism didn't exist anymore in this country. Anyways, so as far as this Epstein cover-up that he's so angry that Charlamagne was then talking about, Donald Trump goes on another arm of his propaganda media campaigns over on Newsmax, and he's talking about Ghislaine Maxwell. This is not the first time you heard it, but he says it every time, and he thinks this is a good cover-up scheme.
Ghislaine Maxwell serving 20 years in prison for sex trafficking. Is clemency on the table for her in exchange for testimony?
I'm allowed to do it, but nobody's asked me to do it. I know nothing about it. I don't know anything about the case, but I know I have the right to do it. I have the right to give pardons. I've given pardons to people before, but nobody's even asked me to do it.
Again, he has the right to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. He keeps talking about how he has this right to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, but nobody's asked me to. You've been asked 6 times, bro, and none of those times have you said, I'm not gonna do that. But you did send your personal attorney, who's now part of your Justice Department, to then go talk to her in secret and create some kind of deal where she can potentially try and clear your name when nobody is going to believe it. As a matter of fact, this is what they've done in response. After talking to Ghislaine Maxwell in secret and going on about how she's going to reveal all the real culprits of the Epstein list that apparently doesn't exist according to his FBI. Anyways, this is what they did with Ghislaine Maxwell, because this is totally not a cover-up at all.
And certainly given her charges and the length of her sentence, it made sense that she was designated to Tallahassee. Where she is now at Bryan is a minimum security camp. There are no cells. There are no guard towers. The inmates, and I did speak to a client there today who said she hadn't seen Ms. Maxwell yet, but they have pods. So there's maybe 2 or 3 girls in a pod. Women are allowed outside from 6 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. There is no controlled movement. There's much more in terms of activities to do. I understand there's even a yoga course that's taught there. So it is a diametrically different situation from where she came. I understand why they might have transferred her. There's probably, anybody that's cooperating for the government might have a target on their back, and it made sense to move her. Why she was moved to a camp, I don't know. And that is a very difficult move to accomplish under any circumstances.
Why is it difficult? What do you mean?
Somebody like Ms. Maxwell, from my understanding, had at least 2 management variables associated with her case. So a management variable is a policy that the Bureau of Prisons has that said that if you have a sentence greater than 10 years, you can't go to a camp. If you have greater than 20 years, you might have to go to a medium level security. If you have a charge of violence or any sexual offense, you're not typically eligible for a minimum security camp. The fact that she had at least 2 of these variables waived, one that she had more than 10 years remaining on her sentence, and certainly the charge itself, is very, very atypical. I've had clients with 1 or both of those charges, and getting a management variable waived for anyone within the Bureau of Prisons is next to impossible. To have 2 management variables waived, highly unusual.
She's had management variables waived. It's incredibly impossible to do these things, as was pointed out there by someone who knows what they're talking about. He's a prison consultant. His name is Sam Miguel, and he was talking about how Ghislaine Maxwell's been moved to a minimum security camp, not prison anymore. It's just a camp where they can go out, hang out, do some yoga, and maybe have a better, lovelier time while they're serving their 20-year prison sentence for violating countless women and girls. Sexual assault, trafficking, all those things that this party talks about, what they care about. The leader of that party has just transferred her over and broken all kinds of rules and norms in doing such a thing because he needs her. But still, as I point out, the propaganda arms in the media for this administration have to come out strong. And this is not the first time this guy has said this. Greg Kelly over at Newsmax, this disgusting sumbitch, listen to him talk about Ghislaine Maxwell, who we know everything about.
Ghislaine Maxwell didn't have a friend in the world. He could have easily gotten away with saying, what the media wanted to hear. But he didn't. And I find that remarkably human, and it's telling, and it signals to me that there's something else going on here and that it's an injustice. It reminds me of when President Trump, among anybody in the country really in public office, he would talk about Ashley Babbitt. Do you remember that? And he gained nothing, really, politically, from talking about that. I mean, he scored points with me and those who know the truth about Ashley Babbitt, but there are a lot of folks, Republicans even, a lot of folks did not want to talk about January 6th. He did. He did. It reminds me of the kind of this, has the same feel. Ghislaine Maxwell, he would talk about, and he did it in a certain way. Now, folks, I know people are horrified when I say there's a possibility that this individual just might be innocent. But think about it. Who's told us about her? The most reviled institutions in America, right? The media and the Biden Justice Department, right? They did the heavy lifting on this stuff.
The media and the Biden Justice Department. Bro, you're on TV with cameras in front of you in a studio for a maybe I'm blanking on what the things are called, a media organization talking about how Ghislaine Maxwell just might be innocent for multiple times going down this route, because you have to try and protect the guy who you're paid to protect. And if you don't do it, you're out of a job, and therefore you're no longer part of the fascist aspect, the media aspect of running this fascist government. That's what Greg Kelly's doing. That's what Greg Kelly's doing. They're trying to normalize what it is that she did, when previous to that, you know what the worst thing in the world was to these guys? Traffickers, human traffickers. It's why they said all these folks that they're running up on the streets in the city of LA are doing right now. We got to get rid of all of these horrific criminals, except for that white one who has dirt on our president. Except for that one. Except for all the proof before we've seen and heard of Donald Trump talking about how he's a predator, specifically on young girls. It's documented. We've heard it. We've seen it. We've heard the victims talk. But Greg Kelly says, you know what? Those guys just might be the worst of the worst. And the reason why he talks like that about his president is because this is how the president talks about the women that work for him. This is what, that same network, Newsmax, Donald Trump was talking about Caroline Levitt. This is the way he talks about Caroline Levitt.
She's on my list. Caroline Levitt.
She's become a star. It's that face, it's that brain, it's those lips, the way they move like she's a machine gun. Is she in the room?
She's in the room.
She's a star, and she's great. She's a great person, actually, but she's, I don't think anybody has ever had a better press secretary than Caroline. She's been amazing.
Ew. You see her lips, the way they move. Oh, so fast. Can't wait. Is she in the room with us? Because, I always say things like this when her back is turned. I mean, well, that is until all the cameras are off. Then I say it to her face. But I don't want you guys to know that's how I talk about Caroline Levitt. She's amazing. You see her lips? Sudden. Remember that guy, Greg Kelly, who was just saying that Ghislaine Maxwell is most likely innocent, and then we got to get off of her back, and all these dirty people in the media are trying to take her down. Remember what Donald Trump, the way he was just talking about Caroline Levitt, and watch the way that same guy, Greg Kelly, was talking about Alina Habba. This was funny at the time, but disgusting at also the same time.
And as we say goodnight, if I could see that footage of Alina Habba speaking to the media in that courthouse, and when you come out there and you speak like you do, and quite frankly, I mean, the whole package, it really is something. Even the fake news, they called it astoundingly confident. There's something kind of special happening in those moments. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if it feels different, but it's pretty damned impressive. And it seems to me like you're moving the needle in who knows what kind of ways.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Greg.
Go ahead.
I really do, and I appreciate you saying that.
That was back when Alina Habba was losing every case that Donald Trump was in front of in court, and then claimed that he wasn't a 34-time felon. But still, Greg Kelly was like, he was biting his lip. When they came back from the little video that he called for, he was literally closing his eyes and biting his lip to talk about how he loves the way she moves. Can you see it? Oh, Alina, aren't you the best ever? Ooh, ooh. Yeah, she was definitely moving the needle. Apparently it was his needle that she was moving. And he had, he couldn't help himself on live TV except to talk about it.